Um, we just had Valentine's Day in the UK, and I wanted to do a quick video around the heart. I know I've spoken about headspace and heart space before, but I just wanted to do this, explore it a little bit deeper, perhaps, because I think when it comes to change, a lot of people struggle, and I include myself. Whenever you're trying to apply something into your life, your head gets involved very quickly, your ego gets involved very quickly, and change is not always a straightforward thing. And so um, I did an exercise based on one of these videos I've been watching recently. And it's where you get a piece of paper, and on the left hand side, left as you look at it, I put heart, and on the other side of the page, I put yeah, but. Uh, and so, what I was encouraged to do in this exercise, and I'll encourage you to do it as well, is to, on the left side of the page, um, write down what your heart wants. Write down all those things that your heart wants to do, and do that in list form, and do nothing else for the first part of this explanation. Once you've done that, and please don't do the right side straight after, just think of the left side. Just sit there and ask the question, what does my heart want? Okay. Now, what we do in the second half is, on the right side of the page, we look at what our head would have to say about that. It's the yeah, but. Okay. So, for example, I'll share my list, or some of my lists, with you. So, on the left side of my page, I said my heart wants to love. It wants to give a gift. It wants to do more. It wants to share. It wants to create. It wants to grow. It wants to live. It wants to connect and help, promote, improve, move, transform, understand, heal. So all these things were coming up for me in my list, and I wrote them all down on the left side. The yeah but side is when the ego comes in and steps in and says, for example, I don't know, you want to create, and your yeah but will be, yeah, but what is it you want to create? You want to change, yeah, but I'm lazy. Yeah, you want to transform into what? You want to heal, oh, the self doubt there. You want to love, well, I'm scared about that. You want to strengthen your relationship, well, I'm scared about that. You want to grow, and all these yeah buts are on the right side of the page, and it seemed very easy to add a yeah but to every one of those. But isn't that just what we do when we come up with an idea for change? We go down the right side of the page. And what I'm trying to do in this video is talk more about what's on the left side of the page. And so it's not a case of, when it comes to change, it's not a case of can I change? You're already setting you up for yourself up to fail there. It's not can I change, it's will I change. Where is your will? Where is the will behind that change? So I don't like the word can, it's will I change. Now, they say that it takes 21 days for a habit to be broken, or a habit to be fully grown. So 21 days, I think, is a really good number to try anything. And I would encourage you to try an exercise for yourself. It could be meditate for 21 days straight. It could be give your gift unconditionally, give love unconditionally for 21 days, and just continue to do that. And so the idea about this is choosing to listen more to your heart than you let your head have its say. It's like that simple minded horse butting in, always interrupting in the conversation. Try and check out of the head and check into the heart space, because that's what's trying to emerge. That's what's trying to come up. Because whenever we get involved in change, we get into this change loop. We think we have an idea that it might be nice to do something. So we think about change, then we have the thought about that change, and then we strangely become resistant to that change. And then we have another thought and we're resistant, and another thought and we're resistant, and around we go. And this is the head talking all the time. Oh, I would like to have a new relationship. Oh, yeah, but Oh, okay, I won't have a new relationship. I'll just be miserable for a while. Oh, well, now I think I need a new relationship. Yeah, but, and so on and so on. And so I think what the idea is to get into your heart and say, okay, I am going to give love. I'm going to give love unconditionally to myself, maybe for 21 days. I'm going to connect with other people for 21 days. I'm going to improve just as an exercise, just to create this habit in your life that it becomes normal. And in the same way, I suppose you've got to look at two things. One particularly, when you look at, say, for example, how you spend money on the things that you like, generally speaking. Sometimes you have to pay these bills, but you don't see that as something. Oh, I love paying my electricity bill. I love paying my car tax or whatever. But your money is only worth what you spend on it. So, in the same way, you should look at your time because we don't have an infinite amount of money per se, but we do have an infinite amount of time. And I would be looking more to how, your time is worth what you spend on it as well. So, when you look at your time, how are you spending your time? If you look at 24 hours in a given day, okay, there's a certain amount that goes through sleep. But actually, when sometimes you want to sit there and think, what have I done with my time today? How have I created? How have I given my gift? How have I promoted my desires? How have I transformed? In what ways have I understood people? In what ways have I understood myself? In what ways have I shared with others? These are coming from the heart space. So whilst you're using this communication that you're making with your heart, you use it in a way where your time spent is valuable. And 21 days is just a kind of a throwaway figure, I suppose. But actually, I think it's a very, very valuable exercise. And when you step into your heart, what happens is I think you create this ripple effect that kind of goes through the whole of your life. When you're in this chaotic headspace change loop, then it just becomes overwhelming. But when you're settled and you're in your heart, then the ripple effect kind of just moves away and it moves into other people. You engage on a different level, and people can see that in you. And it's not like you would imagine, say, for example, a fish tank, where you've got this what seemingly looks like a clean fish tank, but you only have to put a swipe across the window to see how actually scummy it is. So if you get your hand in there and you stir it around, it's going to look like a filthy mess, and that's quite scary for people. You've got this kind of status quo, this kind of right. There's my aquarium, my life aquarium, and it looks okay, but I then throw in the element of change, and it all just comes up, and it's like this big bloom of filth, and it is a scary time. So you've got to, when you're changing things, you've got to really sort of completely clean out, get the fresh water in, get the fresh ideas, and this is where this stuff comes up from your heart space. It comes from your meditations, it comes from the way that you're communicating, you're detaching this, and you're engaging this. So I invite you to do that, and I do that through a feel your heart exercise. Try this on for size. I would encourage you, get up an hour earlier or come, disengage from your life. Give yourself an hour, and an hour where there's no distractions, and an hour where you can just sit. And the feel your heart exercise is basically, if you want to, you can put your hand on your heart and you can close your eyes and you can just ask, what do you want? What is it that you want? And sit there and even if you have to put a timer on your clock or on your phone, ask what it is you want and write those things down. If you can't do it just as a normal exercise, do it as a meditation. I encourage you to talk to your heart because it's got a lot to say and it very, very, very seldom gets it wrong. So there we are. Happy Valentine's.